And let's briefly talk about a new data type called char. Now, in C++, the char data type is used to store a single character. It could be a letter like a P, or a digit like a 5, or a punctuation mark like an exclamation or a comma, right? Now, while it looks like it represents text, in the computer internally, it's stored as a very small number, a number that is only a byte, right, which is 8 bits. Uh, so to declare a character, you must surround it with single quotes. So let's take a look at a declaration. So here we have the data type char. We have the variable name grade, and this is the char literal that, as we've seen previously, needs to be surrounded in single quotes. So be careful not to surround it in double quotes, which is not a character literal. That's more of a string literal, right? Now, as I said, these are mapped to numbers. So there is some encoding happening that is taking each character and it is encoding it into a number. The particular encoding that we will use is, and that we will see, is what's called ASCII encoding, right? So, as an example here, the capital A is mapped or encoded to the number 65. Here, in fact, is represents the ASCII table. So, for example, if you come to 65, you will see the capital A. The lowercase a you will find here, which is a 97. It has other things. It has the other characters. It has the colon, a semicolon. Um, it would also have numbers, 3. The character 3 is encoded as 51. It also has certain non-printable characters, such as a line feed or a bell or backspace. Even those are characters that can be accessed with their encoding. So the interesting thing is, since these are encoded as numbers, you can actually do math on these characters. So, for example, you can have the character A, and if you add a 1 to it, you will get the character B. And the reason is that they are next to each other, right? So you have the 98. If you add the 97, if you add 1 to the 97, you get 98, which is a B, right? If you add 3 to the A, you would get things 1, 2, 3 apart, which is the D, right? Okay. Now, how do you encode? How do you see the actual encoding? And you can do something called typecasting it to an int to actually see. And the way you would do that is you say int and in paren, and then you provide the character, and this expression will evaluate to its ASCII encoding.